Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Valecast. My name is Simo. Today I'm joined by Callum. Say hello, Callum.
Good evening, Simo. How are we?
Very well, mate. Very well. I'm
Good.
slightly more positive than I was. Um, well, then I
Aye,
could have could have been a completely different story if last night's result didn't go our way. But
very true.
gladly it did. Before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, Motive, who bring you a show every single week. And first of all, thank you to the listeners that have been engaging with us on all our social platforms. Our engagement numbers are, quadrupled from what they were just even a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. Valecast episodes getting great views as well. So a big thank you from everybody here at Vale. It really does mean a lot to us. Starting off, we should probably talk right. We should talk about Bucky, and then we'll end on a high when we go and talk about our win over Dice and getting through to the semi final. What were your thoughts on the Bucky match, Cal?
Oh, sickener, wasn't it? An absolute sickener. I think if you're ever going to have a bad day at the office, that was the kind of line that Craig put out. Yes, it was a bad day at the office, but if you're going to do that, it's just typical. It's going to happen in the big derby match, isn't it? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those. Obviously, we talked it up last week. Again, just the same as when we've gone into Brora and Brechin as well. Like we're not there to make up numbers. We're not there
Mm-hmm.
to just admire those who are, at the top end of the table. But yeah, it was a bit of from a Vale point of view, it was just a bit of a non-event, wasn't it? Just first half mauling, which seems to have kind of been the kind of a bit of a tone for the season so far, hasn't it? These kind of
Yeah.
first halves just
Mm-hmm.
killing us, but yeah, obviously a lot more positives in the second half. I mean, watching the highlights back on the Press and Journal's Highland League Weekly show. There were still some very strong performances across the Vale team. I don't think we can all be saying it was 1 out of 10s across the team, that's for sure. Some fantastic saves again from Sean McIntosh. I'm really running out of superlatives to throw his way. He's just come in and really hit the ground running at the Vale, which is great. And we put out an article, kind of a few quotes from Ross Aitken and things like that. And yes, there have been a few kind of high-scoring defeats, but I don't think the performances really match them, in all honesty, or maybe the performances across the full 90 minutes match that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think just overall, it was not a nice way to spend a Saturday evening, that's for sure.
Oh, certainly not. Certainly not. No, my thoughts were very much the same. I did watch the highlights back, and the scoreline. I think it maybe flatters Bucky just a little bit, but I'm going to say that I work for Vale, so. But yeah, I mean it's one of those. I remember when I finished, I just tweeted out. It was like we can't dwell on this. We just need to move on and look for our next low. I thought the next league game is the most important one to get right because we don't want to start snowballing down the table. But I think actually the match against Dice, the clean sheet is the big one for me.
Yeah.
We did it against Keith. And sorry, Nairn. We did it against Nairn, and I just think we had to replicate that against Dice, which we did. And just to come on to that, Matty Jameson, apparently, I've not seen the highlights back from Dice yet,
Yes.
but apparently had an absolute blinder of a game coming on in his debut. Obviously, following the Bucky game, I think everybody could see that Craig and Mo were going to make some changes and try some different things. That I think anybody could have predicted that. But Matty Jameson coming in, if you don't know who Matty Jameson is, he's got a bio on our website. He is a youngster we got on loan from Elgin City. Highly thought of amongst
Yeah.
his own academy as well. And he came on and really, really laid down a marker to show
I've been
Craig
very
and Mo.
impressed. Yeah, very
Yeah.
impressed with Matty. He's obviously been coming off the bench at the kind of first
Mm-hmm.
couple of games of the season there. I think he came off the bench against Brechin, I think, and performed very admirably for such a young man as well. To then come in, on the back of a derby defeat, as we had, to come in and get your first start for the club and put in a man of the match performance. It was described as by Mo. So absolutely delighted for him. Another one of these youngsters that's really come in and impressed. I think there's a lot to be excited about at the club in terms of our younger players at the moment. I'm very impressed with Max Stewart as well. When
Mm.
again, he's one of those that's kind of been on the bench, but when he has been coming on, I think some good performances from him as well. So Jimmy Tinnick as well came on, and again performed well. So yeah, I think he certainly kind of shone last night. and all credit to him. Absolutely. I think it's a good chance for him to come in and maybe pick up a starting place in the team for Saturday.
Well, that's the thing. He's given the managers headaches, and that's exactly what you want to be doing as a young player. You want to be pushing the senior players for their spots, and that competitive atmosphere is something we needed at Vale and something we talked about in pre-season, which is why we brought in so many players. And I think it can't go, as a youngster, it can't go any better than that. Craig and Mo saying, right, you're starting. This is it. If you want to lay down a marker and give us no option but to pick you. Here you go. Here's a chance, and he goes ahead and takes that. So all credit to him. Well done to the young man. I'm excited what else he can bring this season because we definitely needed something for somewhere to just revitalise ourselves after that bucket defeat. And we've got to look to locals next. Inverurie Local Works, who we play on Saturday. We're away from home. Callum, what's your thoughts going into this match?
It's a difficult one actually to judge because obviously Locals have just had their manager leave the club as well. I know there's been a wee bit of change across some managerial posts in the Highland League so far this season already. So Locals are one of those teams who are on the hunt for a new manager. It makes it a little bit harder maybe to kind of preview exactly what they're going to be all about on Saturday. I haven't seen them in action for a good while now, but they're always a strong team. I remember going there a couple of seasons back now for a Friday night fixture away to Locos, and they're a very strong outfit. They're very well put together. It'll just be interesting to see what with this kind of change of manager. I'm not sure exactly who's leading the team at the moment, but with that change, what impact that'll have on their playing squad, we'll soon see. But yeah, that one came as a bit of a surprise as well. I don't think there was many people expecting that one. So by all accounts, they've been doing a good job. It'll be interesting to see how they line up because it's a bit of an unknown now, to be honest with you.
For this game, I'm more just performance orientated. I would like to see us put in a good defensive performance. Another clean sheet would be the one with the difference for me.
Aye.
I'm looking at Inverurie Local Works. Who sits sixth in the table right now. 2 wins, 2 draws. So they're undefeated in a league season. But the thing I've sort of read about them online is they do have a very organised defence. And when I'm looking at the stats right now, I can really see why. They've only conceded three goals this season thus far. The only team that's kept more clean sheets or conceded less goals than Inverurie Local Works is Bucky Thistle, who sit at the top of the table. Still yet to concede a goal. 24 goals for, 0 goals conceded for Bucky Thistle. So I mean, are they God forbid, but are they dark horses this season?
They're always there or thereabouts. They're a very strong team, Bucky. And I know we always have a bit of banter, and it goes beyond banter as well. There is a historical rivalry there. We could probably spend a few hours dissecting on Valecast, so we won't with that. But we have a bit of playful banter with them, now as well. And they're a good team. They got some fantastic players. They got a good young manager there as well. So I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. Brora have obviously had a bit of a shock start to their season as well by their standards. So I'm sure they'll pick on once. Kick on and pick up once they've got their new manager all settled in and all that kind of stuff. Like Brechin will obviously be up there as well. Locals, I expect, will be, maybe not challenging for the league title, and obviously no disrespect to them on that, but I think being in top 6 is probably a fair reflection on a club like them. So, but yeah, I agree with you. They've always been well organised at the back.
Yeah,
a good
hard
spine.
to beat. And I think that's, in a league like this is extremely valuable. Brora, again, they had a really positive start against us and it kind of dropped off. Bear in mind, Brora are 1 game behind as well, so they've only played 3, whereas obviously the other clubs have played 4, them and Nairn, who are still to play an extra game. Looking at the table as I see it right now, Brechin, who have actually, they're sitting behind Fraserburgh and Bucky Thistle, and I think if I look at the fixtures for this weekend, rightly so, Fraserburgh are going to play Brechin, so it's actually an opportunity for Brechin to, if they do want to go and win the league and get promoted back into the Football League, it's really a match they actually want to win. Otherwise,
100%, yeah,
that point difference moves to about 5 points, and
Definitely.
That's points to make
And
up.
hey, Fraserburgh, a great team as well. That's the thing they've got. Obviously, we've had a couple of their boys on loan over the last couple of seasons. I saw that Sarge got a goal last night in their win over Aberdeen University in the cup as well. So they're going to be a very strong outfit again this season. I think for Brecon, it's probably a good test for them. Obviously, they dropped their first points in the league last weekend. We're lucky to take a point out of that actually with a very very late equaliser. So yeah, it'll be an opportunity maybe for Brecon to pit their wits against one of the higher uppers in the league, which obviously we aspire to be, and that's something that's in the kind of multi-year plan that Craig and Mo and everybody's got in place. So, but yeah, I think that'll be a tough test for them. I mean, just to go back to Locos, I mean, the result for them last night in the Aberdeenshire Cup, going down to Banks of Dee, one of the junior outfits, is maybe a surprising one as well, to be honest. And whether that's again, Banks of Dee have got a very good setup and could probably very easily slot into the Highland League at some point in the future. I know that they've had those discussions on that in the past. So certainly no mugs themselves, but yeah, for a team like Locos, I think that's a bit of a surprising one. So whether that is the change in manager or the manager leaving the club kind of having that impact, then who knows? But it's maybe a good time for us to come up against them, especially away from home as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I know Craig and Mo probably. I think Craig and Mo probably looking at us as we just focus on ourselves for this one and go out and it's about performances. Yeah. We have to get out of this habit of starting poorly. For me, that's a must. And we did that against Dice, which is positive. We need to be strong. Well, we have been good in defence, but it's just we seem to kind of grow into games. We kind of grow into games at the minute, and we really need to get out of that habit.
I mean, I think that
strong.
Yeah, I think the defence is starting to click now. I think obviously keeping a clean sheet there last night is a big confidence booster, because it was the same kind of back four, back five with the goalkeeper as well that we've seen pretty much all season so far. So it's good for them to get more experience of playing together. I'm very excited with the centre half pairing that we have in Young Ennis Mackay and James Connolly. Now, James Connolly is on loan from Locos, so won't be available this weekend. So there will be a bit of a reshuffle again at the back. So hopefully that doesn't make too much of an impact. But we've got, again, we put out this article before the Dice game, listing the strength and depth that we've got at the back. And, there's a number of kind of Vale players who are on the bench and sometimes not even making the bench, that would be, week in, week out performers in most other teams in the league. So, whether it's like Kev Adams who comes in and slots in at the back, or if Roscoe comes into the middle and maybe get somebody else out wide. So, I mean, I know he's been performing really well at that right wing back slot. So, don't know what Craig's thinking will be.
Yeah, I've always said I like Rossi at right back because it allows him to go forward a wee bit more. But I could definitely see him maybe slotting into that centre back position for this game.
Yeah,
but
depends who we've got. Depends who we've got available. Obviously, Aaron Hamilton will be out for a wee while. I think he's due to get scanned on a knee injury. I think it is. So we might not see him back just straight away. Courtney Cooper is one of those guys that's not available for every single game, just with the nature of his work outside of football as well. So Harry Noble at left back, who's out injured just now, and we'll hope to see him back on the pitch soon enough as well. So there is a good amount of options at the back there once we've got everybody back fully fit.
Yeah.
And I think it'll probably be one of the most competitive spots on the pitch, in all honesty. And to include the goalkeeping position in that as well. As we say, Sean McIntosh has come in and just kind of really hit the ground running at the club and fitted in really, really well. Gav's still a fantastic goalkeeper sitting on the bench who will be, desperate to get his opportunity to impress as well, I'm sure. So, it's, I think, a really, really positive kind of set of goalkeepers and defenders that we've got in there just now. So, complemented, with the midfield area. We're maybe a little bit light in terms of options right at the top of the pitch. I know, obviously, Dane and Bob have been kind of the two. Dane gets another goal again last night. Yeah,
it's a penalty, but you've got to be in it to win it.
Exactly.
Continues his good form.
Definitely.
I think what is Dane 3-3 now? 3 goals, 3 games.
In
his last
three and four, it must be with the bucket result. So, but yeah, I mean, to have gone as however long it was without scoring, obviously through injury and short seasons and stuff, which we've covered before, but to go that long to then get this kind of wee goal burst, I suppose, is brilliant for his confidence, and you can see the difference in him. Having a couple of goals in the locker there, he's got that swagger about him again. Obviously Bob had his goal in the season contender, which seems to have been downplayed by some locals defenders scoring from their own half, but fair enough. So that's obviously given him that wee confidence boost. I think players like Sam Robertson, who we've kind of been praising quite deservedly on here as well. The confidence levels are up from him as well. So I think we're in a good place. As I say, we don't have too many options in terms of if God forbid there was to be another injury for Dane or for Bob or anybody like that. We've got Grant Noble, who can kind of sit a bit more attacking. He's not a holding midfielder. I think he's much more an attack-minded midfielder, but maybe not a number 9, if you know what I mean. So just it might be something that Craig's looking at. I don't know, but it just means that we can rotate as well when we are going to have a bit of a run of fixtures. We've got our first midweek against Huntly. Assuming there's no more kind of COVID outbreaks over at Huntly, we will have that just after the Locos game. And then obviously a semi-final to look forward to where possibly Huntly again or for Martin, just once they've had the opportunity to play their rearranged quarter-final as well. So, and I would back us against either of them. We've beaten both of them very recently. So, I'm very excited.
Oh, absolutely. I think a final would be great for the fans, great for everybody at the club, really.
Absolutely. I think it would be, something that would really cap, what has been a hell of a difficult 18 months, 2 years, really, for everybody. Obviously, we've had our own kind of change in management set up as well, new people coming in, new faces. It really kind of cap what is, yes, we've maybe not had on paper a great start to the season, you could argue, but we're now 90 minutes away from a cup final, so I take that every day of the week. And and hopefully once we know who we've got, and obviously the details and dates and all that we'll share just as soon as. I believe it's scheduled as well, depending on what happens again, I say with where Martin and Huntly getting to play theirs. When the draw was made, I think the initial date was end of this month, either 31st of August, 1st of September, something like that. So I'm not sure exactly if that's still the plan. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. We will be away from home for the semi-final, unfortunately, because it would be great to have a packed out Vale, Princess Royal Park there, roaring the boys on. But I'm sure that the fans will travel in their numbers for that one as well.
I'm sure Craig Moe and the boys will really fancy getting through to that final.
I mean, in all honesty, it's our best chance of picking up silverware. Let's be honest. We're not. Yeah, I'm going to back this club to the end of my time, but at this stage, we're not challenging for a league title.
But that's the thing. We know we're in a transitional period. We know we've got a new manager and a brand new squad. We're doing things differently. Yeah. Even from the bones up, this club is changing for the better. And we are in a transitional period. But the mood around, granted, we've not had maybe the results or our games haven't went our way, and we accept that. But we just keep trying. But I would say that the mood around the club is good. And yeah, I would 100%. Even though I'm not backing us to maybe win the league this season, and to be fair, I'm fairly content with that. It's all about just progress. Can we gel this side together? Yeah. We've got a great new manager, a great assistant manager, generals on the pitch. These are the things that are going to take us to the next level, I think. And that's what we need to do. There's no point in thinking, we're going to go win the league this season, because we're not in that situation right now. But the goal is to get there, and that's that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as a club, no, that's exactly it. And as a club, we've waited long enough to see, silverware coming back to Princess Royal Park. It's been quite a while now. So, and as a club, historically, yes, we've only won the league on a couple of occasions in our history, but, we've always been a club, up until the last kind of, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or so. I've always been one of those clubs that are mentioned as that there or thereabouts type of club that we've just been talking about with some of these other ones. So, that's the aim. If we can break into that top 5, top 6, within the next couple of seasons, then, that's certainly, a great improvement on where we've been recently. Kind of more in that kind of lower middle section of the table. So, if we can push up the league a wee bit, obviously with that gives you the opportunity to attract, more players, that can add more value to the squad. More competition, which is obviously very healthy. So yeah, I think it's certainly exciting. As I say, I'll back this club all the way, and hopefully we'll see us with a league title or so in the not too distant future. But being realistic, the Aberdeenshire Cup, that represents one of our very, very best chances of picking up significant silverware as well. It's not the Diddy Cup, it's very much a respected trophy within
And a
our
beautiful trophy as well.
league. Oh, I know, absolutely monstrous. Tell you that. So if we do get to the final, I hope Ross and the boys better be doing the weight training
I
during the
was
week
going to
so they'll
say,
be able to
better
pick
get
that
yourself
thing up. So
in the gym.
it's a massive thing. So, and hey, I'd love to see it sitting in our boardroom, that's for sure. So, hopefully, we'll see how we get on in the semi-final, obviously, and hopefully we'll be coming back on here all nice and positive and have a cup final to look forward to. And I've not been involved in the club for that long, but I've been there long enough to know the demand from the supporters for success, and not just from the supporters, but also from within the club. When Craig took the job in the first place, he talked about that pressure that he put himself under. Mo's a winner, Blanchy's a winner. Kev Stewart's been involved in the game for a long time now as well, and has been there, done that. So, we've got the setup in place to go on and achieve that success now. And I think it would be it wouldn't be against the run of play for us to go and lift a trophy like that, And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get through the next the semi-final and then go one better after that. But yeah, every game at a time, I suppose, as well.
One at a time, eh? One at a time.
Yeah, I'm not going to get carried away.
Our
Not going to get
next
carried
game
away.
is every local works on Saturday away. Thank you very much for joining us on Valecast. Let us know your thoughts. Please engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as you have been. The engagement has been absolutely fantastic. Leave a comment. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. Once again, thank you to our sponsor Motive, who bring you this show every single week. And until next week, we shall see you. Cheerio, bye.